You don't have to say anything. There is a silent attitude that lingers in a man's mind day and night. It's not loud, not obvious, but quietly powerful. A kind of mystery that only a few women truly understand. In the art of attraction and deep, authentic connection, real power often lies not in what is spoken, but in what is left unsaid, in what is felt without words. Many women, in their sincere desire to be seen, heard, and appreciated, fall into the trap of speaking too much. They explain themselves endlessly, ask for validation, or overexpress their emotions, believing that words will bring them closer. Yet often, the opposite occurs. The more we say, the more distance we create. But what if I told you that what truly captivates a man is not your words, but the energy you emanate in silence? There's a quiet radiance, a presence that doesn't need to be announced to be felt, and that is what leaves a lasting imprint on a man's heart and mind. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, taught us that the unconscious speaks through gestures, glances, and silence. That beneath language lies a deeper truth, one that reveals who we really are. When a woman dwells in that inner space of calm, confidence, and self-possession, she becomes magnetic. Her presence speaks louder than her words ever could. A man may not understand why he's drawn to her, but he is, again and again. In this video, you'll discover the silent attitude that makes a man think of you long after you've left the room. You'll learn how this works within male psychology and, most importantly, how you can embody this energy in a way that feels natural and deeply authentic. If you've ever felt that you give too much and receive too little, or that your voice disappears into the noise, then you're about to change that dynamic. Because the key is not in convincing him with your words, but in anchoring yourself in your quiet, unwavering strength. This is not about playing games or manipulating emotions. It's a journey back to yourself, a form of self-love that becomes visible in your eyes, your stillness, your presence. And when you step into that space, he won't be able to stop thinking about you, even when you say nothing. Part 1. The mistake many women make. When a woman is drawn to a man, it's only natural that she wants to express her feelings, show her intentions, and open her heart. But often, this desire becomes an overflow of words, over-explaining, oversharing, even unconsciously pleading for attention or reassurance. Though it comes from a genuine place, this behavior can actually block true attraction. Why? Because when we speak too much, especially in an attempt to win someone over, we're not radiating strength. We're revealing insecurity and inner unrest. Excessive explanations give off a signal. I need your approval to feel worthy. And even if we don't say it outright, that energy seeps through into our tone, our eyes, our body language. It's not alluring, it's draining. Carl Jung reminds us to look beyond words to what we reveal unconsciously, through pauses, through posture, through the spaces between our sentences. When a woman constantly justifies herself, she's often trying to fill an internal void with external validation. And to a man, this can feel overwhelming, not because he doesn't care, but because it speaks of dependence, not wholeness. And when every silent moment is filled with chatter, mystery disappears. Yet it's precisely mystery that draws a man in. When we leave space for imagination, for curiosity, we awaken something in him. He leans in, he wants to know more, to explore more. But if everything is laid bare too quickly, there's nothing left to discover. No spark to chase, no depth to uncover. The truth is this: it's not about being cold, distant, or emotionally unavailable. It's about balance. Speak from your heart, but from a place of inner security, not from fear or lack. Let your words be intentional. Let your silence be full of presence, because in the quiet is your greatest power. And when a woman embodies that still, self-assured energy, she becomes unforgettable. The woman who masters this art does not seek to convince with words. She simply shows up as she is with quiet, unwavering confidence. And it is this presence that stirs a far deeper and more lasting interest. Her silence carries meaning. Her calmness is magnetic. Together, these qualities draw a man in, spark his curiosity, and above all, command respect for the space she claims for herself. If you have ever felt frustrated because you said everything and yet he still didn't respond, or if you feel like you give too much and receive too little in return, then it's time to reconsider your approach. Learn to release the fear of being misunderstood and trust the power of your silent presence. True attraction is not born from pressing words, but from an energy that is authentic, mature, and secure. Remember, too many words can repel, but calmness and mystery attract. A man does not seek a woman who simply talks a lot, but one who speaks from her center, who knows when to be silent, and who respects herself without depending on his approval. This is a first step not only to being noticed by him, but to remaining in his thoughts, fascinated and deeply moved by an attitude many don't fully understand, but everyone feels. Part 2. What is the silent attitude? The silent attitude is not merely about staying quiet or avoiding conversation. It is a form of presence that transcends words, an inner energy that radiates security, calm, and self-acceptance, without grand gestures or constant explanation. When a woman embodies this attitude, she becomes an invisible magnet. She attracts effortlessly because her power comes from within, not from what she says or does externally. Imagine a woman who is comfortable in her own skin, who needs no external validation to feel complete. She does not cling to every reaction from a man, nor does she chase his attention as if it were her last chance. She simply is calm, centered, whole, a quality that shines through her gaze, her posture, and the way she moves through the world. Carl Jung spoke of individuation, the journey to becoming our authentic selves, free from masks, fears, and societal conditioning. This process of individuation is the foundation of the silent attitude. A woman who has done this inner work does not need to be allowed to be heard. This attitude does not mean suppressing feelings or acting indifferent. On the contrary, it means feeling deeply yet consciously choosing how to express those feelings. Rather than reacting impulsively, she responds with clarity and balance. She is no longer guided by fear or fear of loss, because she knows her worth is independent of external attention. The silent attitude also reveals itself in how she relates to space and time. She is unafraid of moments of silence, embracing them as essential pauses that allow genuine connection. She doesn't need to fill every gap to sustain the relationship. Her emotional calm creates an atmosphere in which a man feels challenged, intrigued, and profoundly moved, because he senses not everything is immediately accessible. From a psychological standpoint, this dynamic is the essence of true attraction. It does not arise from pressure or neediness, but from mutual respect and the silent admiration that emerges when someone truly values themselves. A woman at peace with herself radiates this energy, and it cannot be faked or forced. That is why the silent attitude is not merely a technique to attract a man. It is a way of living that enriches all relationships, especially the one with yourself. When you cultivate this inner calm and security, you become stronger, more authentic, and less vulnerable to emotional games or disappointment. Imagine how everything changes when you stop chasing attention and instead simply receive it, because you have created a space that invites it. When your self-worth no longer depends on what he says or does, but is an unshakable inner truth that is the essence of the silent attitude. Not trying to fill external voids, but being inwardly fulfilled and radiant. And when this inner light shines, no words can rival its power. Part 3. The power of nonverbal language. All too often, we underestimate the profound impact of nonverbal communication. Yet it is precisely here in the unspoken that the key to the deepest and most irresistible connection resides. When you embody the silent attitude, it is not only your silence that draws him in, but every glance, every movement, every subtle nuance you convey without word. Carl Jung taught that the unconscious reveals itself through our nonverbal behaviors, through our gaze, our gestures, the tone of our voice, and even the rhythm of our breathing. These subtle expressions often communicate far more than any conversation ever could. Therefore, it is essential to become aware of your own body language and presence to truly embody the silent attitude. Let's begin with the gaze. It is not about staring intensely or fixedly, but about looking authentically, softly, with curiosity and acceptance. A woman who meets the world without fear or judgment radiates confidence. Such a gaze silently says, I am here, I am real, I have nothing to prove. This invites genuine interest because it opens the door to a deeper connection. Then there is a smile, not just any smile, but a light, natural one that does not arise from a desire to please or to achieve something. An almost invisible, quiet smile holds a hypnotic power precisely because it is genuine. It emerges from inner well-being and quietly signals, I feel good within myself. This kind of smile touches deeply without uttering a single word. Another crucial element is listening. True listening does not mean waiting for your turn to speak, but being fully present. When you listen attentively without interrupting or judging, you send a clear message. I value what you are saying. This attitude invites him to open up because he senses that with you, no masks are needed. A light, natural touch, a brief contact on his arm or hand can also have a deeper effect than many words. Yet, this contact must never feel forced or calculated. It should be spontaneous and relaxed, an invitation to closeness, not an attempt to compel it. Tone of voice plays a vital role as well. A calm, gentle voice, clear and unhurried, conveys security. Avoid shrill or nervous tones, which often carry unconscious restlessness and neediness. A balanced way of speaking fosters trust and intimacy. Finally, posture speaks volumes. A woman who stands tall, claiming her space without shrinking herself, radiates self-worth and inner strength. Relaxed shoulders, a lifted head, slow, flowing movements, all signal I am fully here with myself. All these elements combine to create a silent symphony that a man perceives on the unconscious level. This is not about manipulation, but about standing in your own truth with genuine presence. When your body speaks from a place of inner strength, attraction becomes a natural consequence. In practice, observe yourself. What does your gaze convey when he speaks? Is your smile genuine or forced? Are you truly listening or merely waiting for your turn to talk? Even small shifts in your nonverbal language can profoundly alter how he perceives you, because nonverbal behavior is the gateway to his unconscious, the place where the strongest and most authentic feelings arise. A silently embodied attitude creates a space he wants to remain in, not out of obligation, but because he feels invited to discover you layer by layer. This is why mastering this language is so crucial, not to get him, but to foster a deeper, more respectful connection. Part 4. Why this works insights into male psychology. To understand why the silent attitude has such a powerful effect on men, we must delve into male psychology, an area often overlooked or misunderstood. The way men think, feel, and respond to a woman who radiates calmness and mystery is no accident. It is deeply rooted in their nature and emotional makeup. First and foremost, men tend to value what they cannot control or predict. In a world where many women try to convince through words, explanations, and constant declarations, a silent, confident attitude is like an oasis of mystery. It fascinates and attracts. This silence acts like an empty space that the male mind instinctively wants to fill with curiosity and desire. When there is no over-explaining, a man feels challenged to discover more, to invest energy in truly getting to know you. From Jung's perspective, the male unconscious is drawn to what cannot be reduced to the obvious. A woman who does not fully reveal herself, who carries secrets within her aura and does not need to validate herself through words, speaks directly to the archetype of feminine mystery, deeply connected to his instinctive and emotional self. Moreover, men respond strongly to authenticity. The silent attitude is not about pretending to be disinterested or artificially scarce. It is about a genuine connection with your inner center, your self-worth, and your inner security. When this energy radiates wordlessly, he feels it as genuine and powerful. This creates respect, and respect is the foundation for depth and longevity in any relationship. Male psychology also shows that men often fear losing control during the pursuit. When a woman is not immediately accessible or does not send clear signals of neediness, a man feels encouraged to put in more effort to earn his place. The silent attitude creates a balanced tension between closeness and distance, keeping his interests alive without making him feel as if everything is already settled. Another important point is that men do not always process emotions verbally. They respond more to impulses, images, and body language. This is why nonverbal communication is so powerful. Feminine calmness and mystery send signals directly to his subconscious, activating attraction and respect, often without him even being able to consciously explain it. At the same time, this attitude protects you from toxic dynamics such as codependency or emotional chasing. When a woman does not cling, beg, or constantly seek validation, a healthy connection arises, not out of need, but out of freedom. And it is exactly this freedom that is magnetic. Neediness repels, emotional independence attracts. Psychologically, this also relates to the effect of controlled uncertainty. When a man does not know exactly what to expect or how you will respond, it puts him in a state of positive alertness. He pays more attention to details, makes more effort, looks for clues, and wants to understand you better. Silence and inner calm form the perfect foundation for this effect, because you do not fill every space with words but leave room for his imagination. Finally, the respect that this attitude evokes changes not only him but also you. When you act from your center, from inner peace, and without fear of rejection, a positive cycle is created. He respects you more, and you strengthen your self-worth even further. In summary, male psychology clearly shows why the silent attitude is so powerful. It speaks to deeper levels of desire, respect, and authenticity. It is not an external tactic, but an expression of your inner value, a value that does not need loudness to be heard. Part 5. How to practice this attitude, practical tips. Now that you understand why the silent attitude is so effective, the question becomes, how can you live it authentically without seeming distant or artificial? Developing this attitude means more than simply being quiet. It is a deeper form of self-connection, an inner state of security and clarity. Speak less, listen more. In many situations, we feel the urge to fill silence with words, explanations, justifications, or impulsive reactions. Often, this stems from inner insecurity. But when you learn to restrain this impulse, an aura of calm and mystery naturally arises, inviting him to truly want to discover you, listen actively, and be present. True listening without interrupting or mentally preparing your response creates closeness. You not only understand him better, but also show that he is genuinely heard. This silent attentiveness has a profound effect, precisely because it is so rare. Breathe consciously before you respond. A deep breath before answering works wonders. It signals inner calm, self-control, and emotional maturity. This small pause radiates sovereignty and protects you from reacting too quickly or feeling the need to justify yourself. 4. Learn to enjoy silence. Many people fear silence because they associate it with emptiness or discomfort. But in truth, silence is itself an expression of strength, depth, and respect. Practice allowing silence rather than rushing to bridge it, because often it is in these very moments that true connection occurs. Another important aspect is smiling with natural ease, without feeling the need to explain every signal. A subtle smile, a gentle gaze, or a small gesture can express far more than hours of conversation. These nonverbal cues convey security, openness, and genuine interest, all without words. A more advanced step is to cultivate your self-worth from within. The silent attitude unfolds its full power only when combined with genuine self-love. This means you do not rely on external validation to feel valuable. When you accept and love yourself, your energy becomes more stable and authentic, and this immediately shows in your presence. Work on recognizing your strengths, forgiving yourself for past mistakes, and valuing yourself unconditionally. Also, practice emotional and physical self-care. Take care of your health and appearance, and make time for your hobbies, friends, and personal growth. When you lead a fulfilled life, you radiate independence and wholeness, a combination men find deeply attractive. Learn to set clear boundaries and respect them. The silent attitude is not about passivity or letting everything slide. On the contrary, it means recognizing when to withdraw and not wasting your energy on situations that do not serve you. These quiet, decisive boundaries demonstrate self-respect and teach others how you wish to be treated. Setting boundaries without drama strengthens your inner power. Lastly, this attitude is not a mask nor a manipulative game. It is an expression of your authenticity and honesty with yourself and with others. When you no longer feel the need to pretend to be liked, your energy begins to vibrate at a higher level. And it is precisely this energy that he cannot let go of. In summary, practicing the silent attitude means connecting deeply with yourself, speaking through your presence, gaze, and energy rather than out of fear. Part 6. What happens within him when you embody this attitude? When a woman adopts this silent, magnetic attitude, not only does her aura change, but so does the way he perceives and responds to her. The male psyche reacts particularly strongly to subtle, profound signals far more than to direct words or explanations. First, he becomes curious. The calmness and silence you radiate invite him to want to know more. He does not have complete answers about you, and that is precisely what awakens his true desire to get closer and discover your inner world. This curiosity is not superficial. It arises from fascination with something real, mysterious, and unique. In the world where relationships reveal everything too quickly, the woman who remains a little elusive stands out. She creates a constant longing in him. Second, he starts to invest more. When you speak less, do not appear desperate, and are not immediately available, he feels he must earn your attention and trust. This emotionally challenges him, and the need to make an effort not only increases his interest, but also deepens his emotional attachment. Your silence becomes a space he wants to inhabit. He seeks ways to connect with you on a deeper level, because you convey that not everyone has access to your inner world, that you are not trying to fill an emotional void, nor do you accept just any behavior. This makes him feel your worth, and often awakens genuine admiration. Psychologically, your attitude activates a projection mechanism. He begins to fill the empty spaces with his own desires, longings, and fantasies. Because you do not reveal everything, in his mind he creates an idealized version of you, nourished by your silent aura. This projection is a powerful psychological force that binds him emotionally. When you remain true to this attitude, his respect for you grows. You are no longer seen as someone who constantly needs validation, but as a complete woman who loves and takes care of herself. This, in turn, triggers in him the desire to rise to your level and make a mindful effort. This respect translates into behavior that is more attentive, gentle, and genuine, because you do not sell yourself short. In many cases, the silent attitude also encourages him to reflect on his own feelings and behavior. With no immediate answers or impulsive reactions from your side, he is compelled to truly listen to himself. What does he feel? What does he want with you? This internal process often leads him to make more conscious and mature decisions because the mystery you radiate demands depth and authenticity. Importantly, when you embody this attitude, You don't just change how he sees you, you transform the entire dynamic of the relationship. You become unavailable for manipulation or emotional dependency. Instead, you become a woman who knows her worth and acts from her center, from her soul. This inner transformation is what he cannot let go of, because he senses you are not just attractive. You have an aura that both challenges and deeply moves him. In short, the silent attitude is not a strategy to get him. It is an authentic way of living that evokes respect, genuine desire, and deep curiosity within him. When you learn to communicate more through your presence than your words, your energy becomes irresistible. He begins to see you as something unique, a woman he simply cannot let go of because he feels there is something real, valuable, and profound within you. Conclusion. Sometimes, true seduction doesn't lie in speaking loudly or putting feelings into words, but in whispering with the energy you radiate, the calm you maintain, and the power of your silence. When you adopt this silent, centered attitude, you don't just transform yourself, you change the entire way he perceives and feels about you. He begins to seek you out, to respect you, and to think of you even when no one else is talking about you. You don't have to beg for love or explain your feelings because your calm, mysterious, and authentic aura says more than 1,000 words. This silent energy shows him that you are a woman who knows her worth and does not sell herself short. And it is precisely this that drives him crazy about you. Remember, you don't need to fill the space with words to be desirable or valuable. Your power lies in inhabiting your truth, staying centered, and radiating from that place without fear or haste. When you master this, he will not only want to stay with you, but will learn to cherish and love you in a deeper, more meaningful way.